Good afternoon, everybody. This is Angela Kersenbrock with CCBA and my partner in crime, not really, Cheryl Cicotti. Cheryl is the program manager for several of our big projects, and she and I are here with you today to talk about the resources that CCBA has for you to help make your lives easier and to help us all meet the needs of our students who have the opportunity to get a bachelor's degree. So welcome, everybody. There are 60 of you with us today, so we're really excited for such a great group. We see a lot of familiar names and faces out there. Hi, Rick Woodfield. How are you? So why don't we get started today? There's Rick. And we've got the chat open. So there's Michaela. We've got the chat open today, so whenever you have questions, if you pop them into the chat, then we'll be sure to try to address those. If Cheryl and I don't know the answer, the esteemed group that we have here with us today, somebody will know the answer to any of your questions that you might have. So why don't we just get started? So I'm Angela, you've already met me, and Cheryl and I both have quite a bit of experience writing baccalaureate proposals, starting new baccalaureates, and then running new baccalaureate degrees. So you're in good hands with us, and the folks I see that are on the website also have a lot of really good experience. And here's our friend Brian Bailey and our research affiliate partner, Dr. Deborah Bragg, is here with us today also. So welcome, everybody. So we have been, as we think about, we've been going through a strategic planning process. And as we think about CCBA, one of the things that we've really encapsulated is that CCBA is an expertise association. There's a lot of expertise on the board, on the staff, and in our members. So we try to make sure that we do have all the resources that you need to get programs started and to answer any questions. So that has been a goal of ours for the past couple of years. And I think that we're really meeting that goal. So let's just talk a minute. If you saw Deb Bragg's Watch Them Grow, you know that what I'm saying to you about the number of programs and colleges is certainly not old hat, because we celebrate that every day. But Deb and her colleagues have been doing an awful lot of work in making sure that we have an accurate count of colleges and programs. Also, we're trying to get an accurate count of how many member colleges we have. So right now, CCBA has 205 member colleges and associations, which I'm hoping says to you that folks are agreeing that we're providing value, and also that colleges value having a broad network so that we can learn from each other and just help make each other stronger in our approach to community college baccalaureate degrees. And 700 CCB programs at 191 community colleges. And that number is changing all the time. So fortunately, it's going up. And I think we all have had a handle in that. I know Ohio, Florida, Washington, California, Texas, Colorado, Oregon, so many states are increasing the number of community colleges that are offering baccalaureate degrees. So we're really excited about that. Every new program is another opportunity for people in that community to be able to get a bachelor's degree and take part of the American dream. So we're very excited about that. This is our website. So something we've been working on. I know some people think this is the most exciting thing since sliced bread, and we happen to agree with you. And so we've been working very hard on the website, on the CCBA website, to try to make it more user-friendly, more full of resources, and have things that help you in your journey as you start new programs, build your cases for new degrees, and also improve those programs and make them as high quality as you can. And one of the things that I think about CCBA is we're a listening organization. And that is that we try to really listen to our members, listen to the people that we surround ourselves with. You know, I had a boss once who said, the best thing you could do is hire people who are smarter than you. And I think in CCBA's case, the best thing we could do is surround ourselves with this network that are smarter, stronger, effective. They have like wonderful skills. And so a lot of you are in the audience today. So this is our new webpage, and we're really excited. Deb, I think, Deb Bragg is the one who coined the phrase Center for Knowledge. And so this is maybe our Center for Knowledge. And we did this really took almost a year of work. And so I have to give a thank you to the Joyce Foundation, Ascendium Foundation, Strata, who's helped us, ECMC has helped us a great deal. I think as you look at this website, you'll see that there are a lot of resources there for you. So why don't we get started as we go through some of the website. So here's our Knowledge Center. Deb, should we put like trademark Deb Bragg under there? And so you'll see a lot of things. Cheryl, do you want to start with the first one?
So there's 8 different areas here. And the first one is the CCBA frequently asked questions. And so this is just for your benefit. If you have something, a question that's probably here that we can help answer for you. The next section is myths and realities. And myths and realities is very, very good because it gives you some myths and then we tell you what really is the truth. Example, you can see here, myth number 1, community colleges only offer 2-year degrees. Well, we're all here. We know that's not the case. There's others, and there are quite a few myths here, and the realities are great talking points, not only for your school, for your state, your legislators, and it's an excellent source to really know the truth about our CCB, and that's brought to you from CCBA.
Cheryl, I was thinking the myths and realities are really geared towards your communities.
Yep.
They have questions. It seems unbelievable to us that somebody doesn't think that community colleges can offer baccalaureate degrees, but we run into this all the time. And I'm sure, you know, you're at the grocery store, every place you go, you know, you tell people, well, I tell people about community college baccalaureate degrees. People say, I didn't know community colleges can do that. I wish we could do billboards across every community in the country to just talk about some of these realities that we see.
So one of the things that I say is really important about this is the cost of college is so expensive now. You see it constantly in the news. And like Angela said, people in the community have no idea that they can get or their child can get a community college baccalaureate degree. And most of them are much less cost than at the university. We know that. So it is an important concept. Thank you. The next one is the CCBA data points. The data points give us lots of information. And let's bring that up. You can see here, for example, data point number 6, how community college meet working adults' learning needs. You know, working adults have very different needs than traditional university students. So you can see from this why a bachelor's matters and that we help cater to working adults. There are a total of 10 data points here.
Cheryl, can I interrupt for 1 second? I just want to point out, since Deb is here, Deb Bragg wrote all of these data points. And they're really beautiful if you haven't seen them. And they were supported by our friends at Lumina. So they're really useful I'm getting ready for an interview, and I was reading through all of these again last night. And I think they're you know, that time when you have some time, you want to take a look at some of these, they're really chock full of information. So they're great data points that you can use at your colleges.
You know, they're so applicable. What we're now in the literature and can show the value of CCBA and what we're doing. The point to show that, and goes to Deb Bragg and her team.
And Tim Hyman, Elizabeth
Yes.
Mesner, Colleen.
Yeah.
You know, the saying it
Did a
takes a
great
village
job.
has never been more true with community college baccalaureate degrees. It does take a village.
It does. It does. I think this is a prideful area for us. We love the data points. We hope that you do too, and that you browse them because they're great.
And feel free to print them off and give them out, post them, you know, please do whatever you need to do to help make your cases and for community college baccalaureates stronger. And they're downloadable. Don't forget that.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The pride and joy of mine, and I will tell you, one of our staff members, Carmen, has been working on this extensively as well. A searchable resource page. In that, on this page, in a keyword, and in that keyword, you can see that all the references that relate to that keyword will come up. There are references in there. There are publications in there. Our webinars are in there. So all of those together are in this searchable library. It is something that is for your use. It is done in an APA format. And I think that you will find this something that's very, very valuable to you. As we scroll down, you can see some of the entries that are here.
Mm-hmm. This is something that I wish I had when we were writing programs, Cheryl, or definitely when, you know, working in our doctorates. That would have been
dissertations, yes.
Helpful. By the way,
sure.
Mentioning doctorates, we have a scholarship funded by Deb Bragg and Mike, her husband, for a dissertation award. So if any of you out there are working on a dissertation, have just completed a dissertation, please take a look at our website so that you can apply for that award. It's a very nice, generous award, and you'll come to the conference and present your work. So I think that'll be really fun and worthwhile for everybody. Tammy Sanders was our 2024 dissertation award winner last year. So we're looking for some more of you brilliant people out there.
Perfect. Yes. I think this is this page here, this section of our Knowledge Center will be used quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the Bragg Award. So you can see that what Angela was talking about of how to start the application for this award. Anyone that's doing dissertation, and you can see that. And we're very honored to have this award. And thank you, Dr. Bragg, for that, and your husband.
Cheryl, are we doing promising practices next?
We're on
inventory.
The national inventory. Do you want to take national inventory, Angela?
All right, as long as I could take the quality ones too.
I know. All
right. So the national inventory, I think we'll say this is a lifelong project, Deb. And I hope it's a never-ending project until all community colleges in the country have baccalaureate degrees. But one of the things that we have is a searchable place where you can find out how many baccalaureates there are, how many colleges are offering baccalaureates in which state, and programs, where the programs are by state. And it's searchable by type of program and also by, is it also searchable by zip code?
No,
Okay.
not by zip code, but by area.
By area. So I think this is really helpful if you're thinking about starting a degree in health sciences. You'll be able to find all the colleges that have degrees in health sciences or respiratory care or, you know, whatever they are, and then go to their website, take a look at their degrees and contact them, let them know how you found them, and then try to maybe work together. You know, the worst thing we want to do in higher ed is reinvent the wheel. And so that is one of the things that this is really good for. And that is to find other people who have like programs so that you can, you know, collaborate on work, collaborate on projects, but also learn from each other. So we think this is really a great process. And Deb's worked on that. Cheryl's worked on that. We have a whole team. Carmen, I mean, Stephanie O'Leary's worked on that, and Carrie Bishop. So a lot of people have put a lot of work into this. And I think we finally have it, and it looks really great. We have some data that's behind that. So if you've got questions, give us a call, send us an email, and we can also help you with that. So, you know, often we get calls, I'm looking, is anybody else doing a respiratory care program? And people don't know to look at in the national program inventory. And so I think this really is quite a valuable resource.
You know, Angela, I would say too that it is evolving because we have new programs every single day. So if you have a new program, let us know. We're trying to update. We present this every year annually, and then we do some behind the scenes checking in the off season. So please let us know. Do not be offended if it's not there. It will be there. And we're pleased because that's how we get our counts for our degrees and programs.
So that's what's going on with the National Program Inventory. And then the 9 elements of quality. This is something that this was funded by Ascendium. It was a seed grant from Ascendium. And we had a task force led by Joyce Hammer, Deb Bragg. Michaela was on there. We had folks from industry, folks from accrediting agencies, all graduates, all talking with us. Here was the thinking behind this. You know, one of the things that we commit to is that we all commit to is that community college baccalaureates offer people the opportunity to really elevate their economic standing in life, and that they give people who don't have the bachelor's the opportunity to achieve that baccalaureate degree. So we promise that. But the other thing we have to promise is that they're high quality, that they're not just exactly like the universities, that they're a different kind of degree that recognizes that we have different kinds of students. We have older students, working adult students, we have underserved students, we have all different kinds of populations. And what we owe it to them is that they have the best possible degree that we can all construct and deliver. Somebody just reminded me that Rick Woodfield was also on that advisory team as well, Rick. Thank you. And so we did, Colleen Policki worked with us, and she did a lit review of all the literature, taking a look at quality programming, CCBs, and did a really great job. And then we did conversations with folks about, is this necessary? Should we have a quality framework for baccalaureate degrees? And the answer there was a resounding yes. So once we had that, then back to the advisory task force, and we began pulling together all of these interviews that we had, work that we had at conferences, conversations with people, and identified 9 elements of quality, 9 areas that our team, our network, our friends and associates all believe lead to quality programming and what makes community college baccalaureates different in terms of their response to our students and our industries. And we came up with these 9 elements. And Cheryl, can you scroll down so we can take a look at some of what the 9 elements are? So, I think you won't be surprised. And, this is a journey, kind of like the national inventory is a journey that never ends. I think this is also a journey that won't end because we'll just keep improving and improving. But right now, what we have are 9 elements. The first one is higher level learning that responds to people concerned about quality of instruction and the quality of the content of the learning. So instead of rigor that has the connotation of exclusion, we have a higher level of learning that implies inclusion and people elevating what they're learning. So I think that's very important. Equitable access and outcomes. If we do all this work and we have all of these community college baccalaureate programs around the country, and we haven't moved the needle in terms of underserved populations being able to obtain a quality baccalaureate degree, then we missed something really important. I think the heart of community college baccalaureate degrees. So that's why equitable access and outcomes is so important. Affordability, every day you hear about student debt, you hear about the high cost of higher ed, higher learning. So equitable access and outcomes, affordability, flexibility because of the different types of students, and experiential learning. Many of our students bring years of experience. So how are we taking a look at that? And then industry partnerships and collaboration. You are all working with your industries. You're creating degrees that really lead to sustainable jobs. So that's exciting. And student services, kind of a comprehensive wraparound student service that moves students from interest through application through completion. And I see Debbie Lynch out in the audience, who's over student affairs, student services at one of the colleges. So thanks for being here, Deb. And regional labor market significance and alignment, Tim Harmon and Deb, and almost every proposal that you see, we're having to prove labor need. And I think they take a really different approach looking at labor gaps. So not just where is there labor need, but where are the gaps in terms of not being fulfilled. So that's there. And then evaluation. If you can't evaluate something, then maybe it really didn't happen. But we take the approach of evaluating services, what you're offering, so that you can continue to improve. So those are the 9 elements, and we continue to work on those. Hopefully we'll be funded again, and we'll continue defining these, creating criteria of how you measure these, examples of how you use them. So this is another one of our ongoing, never-ending projects. We'll at least be 50 by the time we finish this project.
And I think what's so important, Angela, is that the vast array of individuals that participated in this, from students to industry to practitioners, so many, that it is a great list. And in fact, we use this list to categorize our promising practices. So yeah, it's ongoing.
It's been really well received. If you go through it and you feel like, geez, I really want to be involved in this, I could really help with this. This is one of the elements that I'm passionate about. Reach out to us. The more the merrier on this bus. So thank you. All right, next. I'll get off my soapbox on that one.
So next is promising practices. And promising practices, I had a friend tell me these are exemplars. These are things that are innovative ideas and strategies that the different colleges are using to promote CCB, their students, and outcomes. As you can see, promising practices is now a searchable feature on our website. Prior to this, we had an ebook of the 20 promising practices. So we've expanded this each year. You can look at the promising practices by one of the 9 elements of quality that Angela just talked about, or by state, or by keyword. So for example, here is one from Skagit Valley about 360-degree equity. And it's about equitable access, obviously one of our quality indicators that we discussed, and who you can contact for more information about that specific promising practice. Every year we we have a time for promising practice submissions, and then we honor our recipients at the national conference. So we're really excited to honor our next group of promising practice winners, and they will be joining us in Austin. So these promising practices are things that are how-to, rather than, just, say equitable access. Okay, here's how Skagit Valley is doing equitable access. So it's operationalizing a lot of the elements and the values and the beliefs that we have with CCBA. So it is, again, an ongoing collection of exemplars.
Another one of those things, Cheryl, that never ends. So I think that's a good thing. I was thinking about these, how when you go to a conference and, you're there for a few days and you get like 2 or 3 nuggets that you think that made the entire trip worth it, to have those 2 or 3 ideas. Rick is shaking his head, and that's it. And actually, that's how I got into CCBA, because I went to the first conference that I went to and got several nuggets. But what we're trying to do here is collect all these nuggets that we think really show your brilliance and your creativity and your commitment to outcomes. And so that's what the promising practices are. And we really wanted to call them best practices, but our friend Deb Bragg said, no, they haven't been proven, so we can only call them promising. But some of them are, many of them are excellent. So take a look at those. I think you'll be excited.
And I do like that you did put in the chat, Angela, that there will be a number of these promising practices this year's nominees will be presenting at the conference. So there'll be a time for question and answers for them in person. So
I'd be remiss if I didn't say that this was supported by ECMC. We've been so fortunate with our foundation partners. We would not be the organization that we are today without them. So Steve Handel, if you're out there, thank you.
Okay, this is CCBA case-making tool. And Angela, do you want to talk about this a little bit? You mentioned it briefly with Tim Harmon. And
yeah, so Tim, one of the things that we all struggle with when we're doing our proposals, even coming up with the idea of which programs are needed in our communities, because that is a crucial aspect of community college baccalaureates. And Tim Harmon put together this case-making tool. He uses Lightcast data on that. So a shout out to Brian Bailey if you're here with Lightcast, and put together a great tool that you can follow step by step to make sure that you really have the correct data, so that you can get your program approved. But beyond that, it's not just getting the program approved, it's getting your students hired, having your students hired with good salaries. All of those things go into the case-making tool. So I think that this is really an important document that I think, if we had this, Cheryl, we would have been when we were at the colleges, we would have been carrying this around with us everywhere we went, because it was so powerful. And many of the states are looking for third party ways to prove the need, not just what you think at your college or what your economic development person at your college is thinking, although they have great, wonderful thinking. But it just gives another way to look at it to make sure that you're not making an error. So, and that you're capturing the occupations that your community really needs. Then also, I know that Deb is working on new tools. So Pat, let's see, I'm looking at this, Deb. Deb, do you want to chime in right here?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. We do have additional tools that are coming out. This is part of our ECMC, and working hard on those right now. Our tools will enable you to look in your state and your region to identify where you may have bachelor's deserts, so students don't have access to any public education, universities or colleges that they can attend to get a bachelor's degree. So you have a desert, and that's important to know in your applications. And then you'll also be able to look at the distances students have to travel if they transfer to get from their community college to a public or private university. And so you can drill down and look at programs to say, well, really, what would it take for one of our students who's at your community college to get a bachelor's degree? And where are those transfer pathways leading them? And then probably the most important part is who is actually getting those degrees, and who are we leaving behind potentially? Who the CCB might be able to actually open that door for. So these complement Tim Harmon's supply and demand. We refer to that tool, and we talk about how you can supplement that tool by drilling in and looking at geography more closely, which is the bread and butter of our community colleges, as you know, serving their regions. So anyway, we're excited about that. We're getting really close. It will be released sometime in November.
Thanks. Thank you, Deb. When Deb talks about this tool, I think about in California, there was that conversation about fire management, and the university, because theirs is a system of not duplicating. Well, when the school is 287 miles away, that's really out of the reach for a lot of people, particularly a fire science degree. I've led fire science degrees. They're a little bit hands-on, as you would like. So this tool is really important. I think it can help us make even a stronger case for your community college baccalaureate.
And especially with us talking about the cost of college. It's either in time or money or effort, for sure. Angela, Rick has a question or a comment.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, I had a question for Deborah. I love that tool. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Does it just talk about the presence of baccalaureate degrees, or does it get after capacity and a number of seats available for the workforce needs that are in the area?
Well, it will tie to the supply and demand tool, which does talk about numbers. So these two tools will be linked, and you can move back and forth to get the Lightcast data or the BLS data on those gaps. And so what does it look like in terms of how many people we need? And then where are the programs actually at now, and what's missing? So you get it, Rick. Yeah, love to have everybody look at it.
So thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty excited about this tool. You know what our goal is, everyone, right? Everyone knows the goal is 50 states approving community college baccalaureates. So we're doing everything we can to give you the tools so that you can help make this a reality in your community.
One thing I can say as we're waiting for it to advance is we briefly mentioned our conference, and we will show you a little bit more about the conference near the end of the webinar. But what's important for right now is our proposal deadline is November the 1st. So please think about presenting at our conference. We would love to have your ideas to present and to share with your colleagues. And again, the deadline is November 1st.
So this slide just summarizes the resources that we've spoken about, but I would say take a look at our website, get some popcorn, kind of go through it. There's a lot of information there that can help you. And then as you're going through, if you think, well, here's a way that I can help CCBA and my other network colleges we would really appreciate that also. So here are some of the things that we're also working on. The last one, Cheryl, is the program planning template. And so what we're doing is working on a step-by-step guide, matching it to program proposal development, what we know about creating curriculum and creating the step-by-step guide of how you can create a CCB program. You know, one of the things that we've heard from people is, I don't know where to start and how to start it. And so that's what this is all about. We finished the first phase of it. We'll be launching it. We'll be showcasing it at the conference and then starting to work on the second phase. One of the things I think that is interesting and fun about the CCBA conference is that it's a working conference for you. So if you want to get in, roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty, this is the conference for you, because we'll be asking you to give feedback on the quality framework, feedback on the website, feedback on the program planning templates, all of those things, so that we can help grow all of these resources to help meet everyone's needs. So I think that will be really fun going.
I think I would like to give a shout out to those that helped with the initial strategic template. Our friends in Arizona and Washington and some of those others, we've just really appreciated everything. They'll be there to hear your comments. And we really want to move on with the next phase of this. We want to make it as user-friendly for the colleges as possible.
So are there questions and comments that you're thinking, here's something where, hello CCBA, here's something that you're missing, here's something else that we could use? What are some of your thoughts on that? Oh, here's something. Someone is asking about examples of proposals, successful proposals, to get some of those on the website. So we can do that. I think that's really a great idea.
Good idea. Great idea.
Thank you. Thank you for that suggestion. That was a really good one.
I would add that some states do make their proposals visible right now. So I know Ohio, Washington, and probably others. You can go on their CCB websites and you can see proposals. So, but I love the idea of Angela and Cheryl, you know, kind of looking through those and posting some of the really good ones would be so helpful.
I think it would too.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to find out who suggested that and recruit you to help us. But thank you. I mean, one of the things that we want to do every day is improve what we can do for you. So, you know, push us. We're okay with that.
Let us know your thoughts, because we are here to be the organization that assists with resources and answers and research that we can help you do the best job that you're doing already.
Angela, I just had a quick clarification. Thank you for inviting me to the webinar. And Tim did a great job on the, as always, did a great job on the case making tool, and Deb as well. I'm curious, is there a pretty big difference between the guidelines for submitting for new programs versus submitting for CCB programs? Is there an more in-depth justification page, or like how much of a deeper dive do you feel like that CCB proponents need to go through versus people who are just wanting to do a run-of-the-mill annual program review?
Okay. I think a lot of people in the audience can answer that. I'll take a stab at it. Typically, if you want to start a new 2-year AS degree at a college, you do it and you submit it to curriculum committee or your exec staff and then curriculum committee. But with a community college baccalaureate, you typically have to go through the state system, a state approval process. So that's the difference. And then that approval process really hinges on what the state legislation says. You know, is it really big on you can't have nursing, or is it big on you can't duplicate any program in the state, or is it you've got to really prove labor data using a third party? like Tim has done with Lightcast. It just depends on the state. So I think this is a new area for a lot of states, and people aren't familiar with even taking a look at their own state legislation. So that's where people should really start looking at that legislation. The other thing is, if you have been offering 2-year degrees and now you want to offer the baccalaureate degree, then most of the time, especially your first one, you've got to get accreditation approval to go to that next level. And that's another whole interesting ball of wax. And so with SACS or Higher Learning Commission, that's why we really like to have the accreditors with us at the conference, so they can address, how you best go about that, what you need, all that. When we were, one of the things that we were doing at the colleges is almost getting ready to offer a baccalaureate degree almost 10 years before we offered our first one. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but nurses, we like to prepare for stuff. And so we were thinking one day we're going to have an XYZ program. And so we were working with human resources, staff and program development, so that we could start getting faculty with terminal degrees, doctoral degrees. So I think the earlier you can start, because a baccalaureate degree that you're offering is not just that one program in one department. This is a college-wide change. So the library is impacted, financial aid is impacted, all of those things are impacted that aren't impacted, to that kind of a degree with another associate of science degree. So I think that's, some of the things people need to work through.
Angela, that brings up a good point, because when we first envisioned the strategic planning template for program development, we kind of thought, okay, we'll talk about curriculum and we'll talk about the board and the approval process. But then it started just amassing into student services, and the diploma would be different and graduation different, and so many other things when you move to that next level of degree offerings. So as we develop this template even further, I think it will bring to mind a lot of things that have to happen.
Cheryl, and one of the things that we hear from our members is, I'm the only one working on this. Yeah. And I think that that's true, like the first degree, maybe, they're the only ones who are working on it, but there is so much work and so many processes that need to be revised at a college, that anybody who started the first program at a college probably should get, I don't know, win the lottery or something or other, because it's so much work and it's so painstaking. I see Rick's got a t-shirt that said procrastinating king. We will go into that. But every single aspect of a college changes. And so that's what people who are starting degrees deal with. So it's a yeoman's job. She will. And I think we did warn people that they will be working at this conference and hopefully having a fantastic time. And I hear through the grapevine, we're also going to have some line dancing. So bring your
boots. Hey, I just want to remind all of you that early registration ends December 31st. So, and please get that early registration in and secure your hotel room.
Definitely get your hotel room.
Angela, I already have my boots.
Thank you. I'm so excited about that. Well, thank you everybody for your time. Please drop us a line. I like this. I didn't like this. I need this. Do this next time, whatever. We're open to it. Okay. Everybody have a really fantastic week. You're changing the country, you really are. One student at a time.
Kudos to you.
Kudos to all of you. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.